here it is, the blunt version. This customer's had it. They tried air fried mode a few times and didn't get the crunch, didn't get the speed, and now they feel like the whole thing's just a gimmick. They're not just disappointed, they feel misled.
Yeah, you know what? They're not wrong to feel that way. Because while I truly believe oven air fry features are real, the way that they're marketed right now are definitely not. What most brands are calling air fry are really just a convection mode at full blast, right? Maybe it has a hotter preheat, or maybe the fan actually runs for a longer period of time. But I can promise you, most of them are not fundamentally different from what ovens have been doing for decades at this point. So the problem isn't that the feature is fake. The problem is the positioning around it definitely is. When you think about the word air fry, it really implies something that's pretty radical, right? The expectation in the marketplace has been set. It's that countertop level crunch. That's what we know, right? No oil, faster cook times, that promise of, restaurant quality texture at home. But in a full size oven, most of those promises are going to fall apart pretty quick without the right conditions. And that's the difference here. If you don't have a dedicated basket, you're going to lose your airflow. If you don't have a high velocity fan system, you're going to lose the power to crisp it up in the first place. And if you load up your trays because you have that extra capacity now, then you're never going to get air fried results. You're just going to kind of get this warm, imbalanced, uneven texture at the end of the day. So while oven air fries can be a useful tool, in fact, they can be a weapon, they're not magic. Okay, it's not a replacement for those countertop air fryers because you don't have to take the same things into consideration. It's not going to turn your wall oven into a deep fryer, right? It's more often than not a label that's slapped on a really aggressive convection mode. And you can usually pick those ones out because they're not going to come with the necessary accessories. They're not going to come with a fan upgrade. They're not even going to come with, these system optimizations that you need to be successful here. So when a customer says it's a gimmick, they're probably not wrong. If all they got was a rename button on their control panel in a brochure or a spec sheet with a bunch of half truths on it, because the performance depends entirely on how well that system's going to move air and what accessories you're using, and really how disciplined your cook method is. Because if you want true air fry results from an oven, you need mesh trays, you need proper spacing, you need small batches, you need patience from these preheat times. If you do all that, I promise you it'll work. But if you skip any part of that, it's absolutely going to feel like you wasted your money. So yes, air fry is not a gimmick, but the way that it's sold probably is. And customers are right to call it out when the results that they get don't match the promises that they got in the showroom.